Hello my friends, it's great to see you for yet another video, and surprise everybody, we're still alive so far. Once again, we've made it through another day and Donald Trump has not gotten us killed, but just give him time. He's working on it, my friends. He's got a plan, don't worry, he's going to get it done. So we got a little bit to go over today as Donald Trump continues to escalate tensions and blood pressures all over the planet with his absolute shenanigans. Donald Trump is now throwing a temper tantrum like he does about oil prices and how he thinks they should not go up. And that's interesting considering all the absolute nonsense that he is causing in the world, that he thinks that they should not go up based on his actions. It's always the same thing with Donald Trump now, isn't it? So we'll talk about that here in a bit. But first, my friends, if you don't mind, I want to direct my anger of the day towards JD Vance. I don't know where JD Vance has been. He's always pretty quiet. He always shows up when there's something catastrophic going on. He shows up to kill a pope. He shows up to start a war in India. And now that we have engaged in a war with Iran, there's JD Vance. Yeah, he's like, I've said it before, but JD Vance is just a bad omen. I don't know. I want to make the comparison to the groundhog somehow, but I haven't quite figured out a good punchline for it. But you know, the groundhog comes out, sees its shadow or doesn't, and then we know if there's going to be more winter. And we need to figure out what it means exactly when we see JD Vance. But I got to talk about this son of a bitch for a second, because JD Vance has come out of hiding, and he was asked, I believe it was yesterday, if we are at war with Iran. To which JD Vance responded something along the lines of, we are not at war with Iran, we are at war with Iran's nuclear program. Is anybody else getting tired of the bullshit? I understand there's a lot of dumb fucking Americans. That's how 70-some million people ended up voting for Donald Trump in the first place. We do have a lot of dumb motherfuckers here. But for the rest of us that didn't vote for the bullshit, we're not fooled by your bullshit, JD Vance. We know what you're trying to tell us, okay? But to clear up some confusion with that, JD Vance finally throws us a bone and we get to clear something up. JD Vance, in fact, did not fuck a couch, my friends. You need to get it right. JD Vance fucked the cushion of the couch. All right. Fucked it right in the cushion, my friends. So we need to make sure we're getting all this right. We need to have all the semantics in order if we're going to engage with JD Vance's bullshit. So if anybody's not sure how I feel about JD Vance, fuck JD Vance. What a line of bullshit to give the American people. We're just at war with their nuclear program. And for one, look, I'm still following up on this, but I know that people have been talking about Iran's going to get nukes for years. 20, 30 years, Iran has been working on nukes, and there's no nukes whatsoever. But a lot of intel is coming out saying that Donald Trump didn't even hit the uranium. They had already moved it because they knew the strike was coming, for one. And just a lot of different sources out there. Look, I need to do more research still, but a lot of different sources are saying, well, they probably weren't going to have nukes anyways, and then they were going more towards the higher uranium enrichment after Donald Trump tore up the agreement that Obama made because he fucking hates everything Obama did. Basically what I'm telling you is, either, from my understanding, either there wasn't really a process to try to get nukes, or they were working towards nukes because of Donald Trump's fucking stupidity. It's almost like when Donald Trump does something stupid, something bad happens afterwards. So I don't know, you guys can clear me up in the comments, but I'm not quite sure where all that is exactly. But basically, they're saying that it wasn't a direct hit. They had already moved all the fucking uranium out before, you know, the successful mission Donald Trump just pulled off. But we got to have a look at this thing with the oil, right? Now, I'm not any kind of oil expert, my friends. I would never bullshit you and tell you anything that I'm not. But what I do know is that the Middle East tends to control a lot of the oil in the world because that's where it's all fucking at. That's why we went and bombed Iraq years ago, because we wanted oil. They didn't tell us that. They lied about weapons of mass destruction. Wait a minute. Holy shit, did I wake up and it's 20 fucking years ago? This is the same goddamn argument they made the last time. And remember that Donald Trump criticized George Bush and said there were no weapons of mass destruction. We should have never been in that war. And he probably was right. I'd have to go back actually 20 years in time and maybe reevaluate with my brain that I have now instead of my early 20-year-old brain, and maybe reevaluate that thing. But it's possible that Donald Trump was right about that. Now, fast forward to 20 some years later, Donald Trump is saying the exact same fucking thing that George Bush said that got us into a war. But what's grinding my gears today, my friends, what's pissing me off is Donald Trump went and tweeted that, not tweeted, he truthed, I gotta get that right, he truthed that nobody should raise oil prices, something along those lines. Nobody should be raising oil prices. You're giving in to the enemy and all that stuff. So basically, what I'm trying to tell you guys is this is the shit I hate about that fucking brat Donald Trump. He thinks that he can do whatever he wants, and then there's going to be no consequences for it, or nobody's allowed to enforce the consequences for the dumb shit that Donald Trump does. This is why we don't elect spoiled fucking brats that were never told no in their life to be the president of the United States. You know who I want? Somebody that's always had to be accountable for their actions. Somebody who always got fucked over for making poor choices in life. I want that person to be president. At least they know that shit can happen to them if they fuck up. That makes them more accountable. But here we go again with Donald Trump. Do you guys remember not that long ago Donald Trump was starting all these trade wars with all these other countries? The trade wars are still in place. It's just there's so much other shit going on in the world right now that we're not really paying attention. And a lot of people bought into the lie when Donald Trump said we're pausing the tariffs. They're dumb. You can tell by their red hats they're wearing. They think the tariffs no longer exist. What the pause was lowered the tariffs to like 30% for 90 days, and that 90 days is about to be up somewhere around here. Somewhere. Anyways, when Donald Trump started all these pointless fucking trade wars with all these countries around the world, Donald Trump got mad at Walmart. Do you guys remember that? Now listen, I got to clear up a couple things in this video real quick that maybe I should have cleared up earlier with one part of this. But look, I'm no fan of Walmart. I'm no friend of Walmart. But if they're getting hit by tariffs that are the president's doing, they 100% need to pass those tariffs on to the consumer for a couple reasons. One, that's how tariffs fucking work, all right? And for two, Donald Trump needs to pay the consequences of his fucking actions. So when all of his supporters that shop at Walmart can't afford to buy their normal shit, they can look directly at who is to blame for that: Donald fucking Trump, right? Now, so another thing I wanted to clear up real quick. I'm no friend of Iran either. You have to understand that. Here's what happened. Okay, first thing I want to clear up. Somebody did come to the comments yesterday and look, offer your opinion. By all means, please offer your opinion. As long as you're not being a complete dickhead, I'll allow it. It's fine. But he said that something along the lines of, I don't know that he was necessarily accusing me of being an Iran sympathizer or siding with Iran, but it came across a little bit like that. And I want to be clear, I'm no friend of Iran. I understand that they are shitheads also. They have, you know, these sleeper cell terrorist organizations all over the fucking world. But the fact of the fucking matter is here, Israel struck first. Israel hit fucking Iran with their bombs, then Iran turns around and starts bombing the ever-loving fuck out of Israel because they had it coming. That's why. If there's anything I've learned in life, my friends, don't start throwing punches if you're not ready to get punched back. That's just the fucking way this works. And I, my friends, do not appreciate Israel starting a bunch of shit and then coming to America going, oh God, please save us, please help us. Fuck you. You started it. You fucking deal with the consequences of the bullshit. So we're over there shooting down their missiles that they're launching at Israel. That was the kind of the start of the escalation, so to speak, with what's going on here. And then Donald Trump goes and bombs their shit, right? Operation Midnight Hammer, my friends. We can never stop laughing about how fucking stupid that is. Operation Midnight Hammer. These guys cannot help but broadcast how tiny their dicks are every time they get a fucking chance. They called it Operation Midnight Hammer. Get the fuck out of here. That's fucking silly. Anyways, we shouldn't be involved in the bullshit that Israel fucking started, all right? And I don't know the alliance situation necessarily with Israel, but now that we're in this war, when Iran inevitably escalates what's going on here, I do not expect that America's allies will actually come to our aid this time around for a couple reasons. Donald Trump's a fucking prick, and he's pissed off the entire world. And also, it's something we didn't need to get involved in, but here the fuck we are. I don't think we get any support from our allies if this is to escalate any further. But what's pissing me off, my friends, we shouldn't be there. And now Donald Trump is saying, you can't raise oil prices. You can't do that. You can't fucking raise oil prices because Iran's going to do whatever shit they're going to do now. And they're talking about trying to close the Strait of Hormuz. I think that's how you say it. Look, guys, I'm just a dumb fucking hick. I do my best with these words. I even know how dumb I sound when I say Iran and Iraq. I understand. But I would really throw you guys for a loop, wouldn't I, if I start saying Iran? You guys would be like, oh, look at Josh. Isn't he too fancy for us now? Living a little high on the hog there, aren't you, fucking truck driver? We need to knock you down a peg. I bet people would unsubscribe the minute I said Iran. They'd be like, no, dude, just say it like the rednecks do, please. Spare us the bullshit. But I distracted myself, my friends. Anyways, that strait is where a huge portion, I think it was 20%, but a huge portion of the world's oil is transported through that. Now, does Iran have the resources to completely shut it down? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not really sure. I'm not an expert on those things either, but they can definitely be a roadblock. They can 100% get in the way. And if I remember correctly, Iran said, you know, if America's going to come at us, we can just drop a bomb in like strategic oil reserves and shit like that over here in the Middle East and kind of fuck up the whole supply chain when it comes to that. And look, I don't want us to suffer, but they're 100% justified at this point. We shouldn't be there fucking with them for Israel. Look, if we had actual intel, we took the time to do things the right way and figured out what Iran was doing, and if they were actually going to be a threat to the world, after all the intel was collected, the American people were not lied to, and we said, we got to do something about it. Fuck, I'm on board. That's just the way this shit works. It's fine. And that's the fucking problem with fucking Donald Trump, right? He wants to do things without thinking. I mean, I don't know if I believe Vladimir Putin more or Donald Trump at this point. I mean, Vladimir Putin's a fucking lunatic, but Donald Trump's a compulsive liar. But I read something, just a brief headline earlier, that Vladimir Putin is saying that Donald Trump basically went off vibes when it came to deciding to blow shit up. He don't actually know what the fuck's going on. But once again, I have sidetracked myself. What I'm trying to say is Donald Trump wants to do stuff without putting any thought into it whatsoever. He just wants to go off half-cocked, blow shit up, and then when the consequences come back around, he thinks that he does not have to fucking deal with them. And I think he's 100% wrong. Look, I expect retaliation from Iran. I do not wish harm on the military soldiers that are based in the Middle East right now that could be in harm's way because of Donald Trump's actions. I do not wish harm on the American people that are going to have to deal with, best case scenario, the higher prices caused by all of this. I don't even wish harm on some of these shithead truckers out here that lick the taint of Donald Trump while he's going to bankrupt them with high fuel prices because of his stupid fucking shit. But what I want sometime in my life is to watch Donald Trump suffer the consequences of his fucking actions. The man's got 34 fucking felonies. He's been accused of sexual assault on multiple fucking occasions. He's an insurrectionist. He like more minor things that sound pale, that sort of pale in comparison. He started the fucking trade wars. He wanted this bombing mission. Donald Trump needs to face consequences sometime in his life to know that he can't do whatever the fuck he wants. For that reason alone, I would like, how do I say this without getting myself fucking canceled? I would like for Iran to respond in a way that Donald Trump feels the pressure for the decisions that he makes. And unfortunately, we're all going to feel a little bit of pain, all right? Hopefully it's just financial. Hopefully it's just fucking financial. But the son of a bitch can't just keep doing whatever he wants to do and fucking get away with it. And tweet or truth or whatever about how the other people can't respond to the bullshit that he did. It's fucked up. It's a fucked up system, and I'm tired of this spoiled brat fucking Donald Trump. Always getting away with whatever the fuck he wants to do. I do not understand why so many Americans vote for this guy, because we full well would face the consequences if we did half or even a portion of the bullshit that Donald Trump does. For some reason, now in America, we have a fucking king, my friends, and he does whatever the fuck he wants. I know I ran myself out of breath. I'm pretty tired after that, but it's a tough balance. That's it. I want to see Donald Trump deal with the consequences of his actions for once. I've repeated that over and over. Now I'm tired and I still got more work to do. So I gotta go. Love you guys. Bye now.